had enough.
Well, you drove out there into the middle of
Yeah,
nowhere.
you know, I had really
sort of
had
loud
enough of this
verbal
thing.
display challenging ET in general out in the
Oh,
middle of
yeah,
nowhere.
that's what I was doing. I actually had a pistol in my hand at the time. I was really ticked off. When I was having this fit, I was waving the gun in the air, okay, and I had this fit. And at this moment, I said, okay.
He was a Louisiana man named Montaldo. Folks around called him Six Gun Joe. Worked with ICAR, don't you know? Investigating UFOs. Out for a drive with a gal one night, they stopped to check out the reporting site. When an alien lit right there on the ground, he commenced to throwing his weight around. Now, old Six Gun didn't take too kindly to that kind of thing, especially without Vaseline or anything like that, you know. Seriously. Well, Six Gun looked that critter right in the eye and said, "Any last wish before you die?" Yo, reached for his gun, quick as a twitch, and said, "Fill your claw, you son of a bitch." Now a legend spread across the land about this pistol-waving man. But if you're from space or from Earth below, you don't give no lip to Six Gun Joe.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans.
Welcome to the Light Gate, where reality bends and the unseen awakens. Preston Dennett, joined by Dolly Saffron, guiding you beyond the veil and into the infinite unknown. Every week we unlock high strangeness, extraterrestrial contact, hidden realms, psychic awakenings, the afterlife, and secrets they don't want you to know. Step through the gate, and if you feel the calling, subscribe to the channel and share it with those ready to awaken.
Is this like a drunken thing? Okay. StreamYard. StreamYard, you're on crack. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure why that we're coming on in 15-second thing popped up, but hey, I'm sure that we got all kind of little gadgets in here. Plus, we lost some material thanks to some bad updates done by, we're not going to mention any names, some company that we work with. Anyway, on that.
And it doesn't start with S and end with Reamyard?
No. Anyway, welcome everyone to UFO Undercover. I really do hope everyone's having a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be on our big, beautiful blue planet. We broadcast in every time zone. Yes, there's no time zones we don't. As far as I know, this show, it pretty much goes to every country on the planet. We've been around almost 30 years, and we've gotten places. You know, sometimes I'll see a stream. It might be one or two, even five sometimes, but from places you just never heard of when you look it up in some country in the middle of Europe or in the middle of the Middle East or down in Africa. You're like, wow, okay, that's. There was a particular part of Africa where when I looked up the cell phones per person, there was one cell phone for every 10,000 people. And yet we had 5 listeners there. I wonder if it had to be 5 different cell phones. It could have been a computer. I don't know. But welcome to
one family with 5 cell phones.
Could have been one service. Welcome everybody. Welcome Jimmy, Kim. How y'all all doing? What did I tell you about Pal Talk? Don't remind me when we're on air. Yes, I'm on the computer like 2 hours before we go on air because I don't think about it. I always got a bunch of stuff going on. Yes. I don't mind putting it on, but no, I don't. We can get another room going over there. Be like starting from scratch, but hey, what's the biggie dealy? Oh, you mean politics? No, because every time I go in and do politics, I get thrown out. No, I do. It doesn't matter. I can't say that on this show, but that's probably why. You're probably right. But still, because they don't like being wrong. And what do they say now? Bring your receipts. I got a pocket full of freaking receipts, man. What are you talking about? Yes, it's a lot of fun. But anyway, welcome to UFO Undercover. No, because I've been being lazy. No, there's like 6, 7 guests I need to book. I've already talked to them about it, like last December, November. But frankly, I'm lazy. Anybody want to come be my Jay and I need a what do you call it? An intern. No, don't pay
Yeah.
anything for anybody asks. We poor.
Radio intern.
I'm
Someone to
poor.
operate all the banners and overlays and music background stuff.
Who's the richest person on the station? I know, but I can't say. No, because she'd be offended if I said her name aloud in those things.
Well, I mean,
You know, she's a regular host on this network.
You gave everybody a 100% easier guess, and then they know it's only a girl.
Well, it's have to. Well, we got a lot of female hosts. So it's not that easy. Well, I think we're at 65% female hosts. I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's scary if you're a guy around here, man. Oh, dude, you know what? That's offensive. I'll tell her you said that, but you better hope she never sees you because she will deck you until another month. Oh no, it's not the girl you want to be hacking off. Come talk to me Friday night about it or Saturday night about it. No, this show in Arthur's Quill, we just don't talk about stuff like that. No, we don't like offending people's senses. These shows are for research and for fun and to learn stuff. We're not really caring what your political views are unless you're like a mad person, and then we're just going to throw you out.
We're going to wow you with how much we know about what the government knows and doesn't know.
Yeah, because our government, first off, I'm glad you said it, Jay. You know, our government doesn't know much about anything to start off in the blankety first place. It's like, I can't even curse on the show. No, they're not. Because they don't. You know what? When I get into research a long, long time ago, before the sun even started to come up, I was like, man, our government knows all kind of stuff. Look at all these projects, all these programs, all these deep throats. Oh, man. You know what? I don't want to tell you all this, but I said, that's bullshit. And it wasn't, some of it took some hardcore research and some of it didn't. It's okay. I might as well just get myself in trouble right out the gate. So everybody knows about Dulcie. I mean, I've heard about Dulcie even since I was a kid. Dulcie, the Greys underground, killing each other, blowing up shit, fighting all over the place, doing this, doing that, doing this, piling up human soldiers. And they're shooting up the Greys with machine guns. And I'm thinking, first off,
Or a little Walther PPK in the case of Phil Schneider.
I'm thinking maybe the very first time you might get lucky shoot a Grey with a machine gun. After that, this is not going to happen. No, they got shields and stuff like that. It's just not going to happen. Matter of fact, I think they call them compressors. So this is something our own government's been working on. They've been working on 2 projects, which is straight out of sci-fi. One is compressors. So it's a type of field that doesn't allow the bullet to compress to shoot. It won't shoot. It compresses the field so you can't fire it inside the chamber. It's not like the whole gun. It's just I don't know how it works. And but it compresses anything that's like going to have a flame or a spark. I guess it identifies it and compresses it, so it can't ignite. No ignition, no gun. Then, and I've seen these before, but they're getting much more sophisticated now.
It could also be a magnetic effect that fuses the metal, makes it so that with a handgun or a mechanical, anything that's not electronic, for example, not a laser gun, regular bullets and all still would work. But if you have a strong enough magnetic field, you could probably immobilize the internal workings of a mechanical.
Yeah, but this they call these compressors. It gives you a sense of the actual the little charge is being compressed somehow or another. It just gives you that sense of they're using some type of field to compress it. And you know what? Those fields are probably quite big. Even a one person shield's probably a couple hundred feet. You've got a bunch of people together, a ship around, that thing's probably several thousand feet. So nobody's shooting anything inside. Doesn't matter what kind of weapon it is. Doesn't even matter if it's a hand grenade.
So
now, I hate to be there.
That field, what happens? Does a bullet get through it?
I doubt it. Probably just either turned to dust or bounces off. I doubt it's getting through any of that shit.
There have been reports of people who said they have shot them. There's the one, I don't know where it is, Tennessee, maybe the one family says they were attacked by Greys that were, they used their shotguns to, fight back. And when they would hit them, they would burst into a cloud of green powder and then reappear somewhere else.
Yeah, well, it doesn't seem like they're doing much good. I've never heard of anybody being able to kill a Grey with any type of human weapon. Not even
the one legitimate one I did hear years ago. It was, I think, an incident in the '60s. It was kind of like the Scirocco one, the Lenny, what's his name, where he saw the guy in the silver suits, the guys in the silver suits get into a spaceship and fly away. It was like that, except for this gentleman saw a unusual being in a silvery metal shirt, and he shot it with his 357 Magnum and knocked the thing on its ass, and it got up and ran away.
I don't doubt if it
immediately. I mean, it wasn't knocked out or anything. It just
I don't doubt if you could make
the bullet, knock him down.
If you could make a connection with them, you could probably, because there's a lot of force coming out of a shot like that. But
Yeah.
still, I have never heard anybody, even the burrito guy said he didn't kill him; something else killed him.
Yeah, I mean, this is a legitimate cop. Why would he lie about shooting someone who ran away? I mean, that's your job. You're fired if he doesn't report that, and it comes back later. So I kind of consider that a legitimate story.
Well, when it two texted it. Anyway, when it comes to like the Greys, I mean, you hear these stories about the Greys walking into combat in the middle of World War II, World War One, unscathed, unfettered, not worried, just walking around like you and I would be in the middle of New York City.
But is it them? Is it their physical them, or is it the holographic image of them walking around?
That's a good question. It could be a holographic image, but it doesn't seem to
probe
be
that they can kind of interact and see what's going on. But
it has to be
interact
more
with it.
than it must be more than just holographic, because you can make contact.
I'm thinking it's two-way. They can see if it's like in Star Wars. The holograms can see. It's a two-way thing. You just can't interact with what's in the room. You know what's in the room. You can see who you're talking to and what's on the walls and whatnot.
No, it's got to be more than that, because they retrieve stuff. So I always thought
they
maybe
have a transporter.
Well, no, I always thought that the Greys have the Greys, because it's the little 3-foot Greys that run the other little 3-foot Greys, which are cyborgs. So it could have easily been a cyborg out there walking around. Something that's not going to get totally wasted.
True, yeah.
But then again, it could have just been a Grey with something that keeps the bullets from hitting him. As far as we know, here's one for you.
There's rumors that their shirts or their uniform, whatever you want to call it, are so bulletproof that if we were to wear it, if you could get it to fit on you, the bullet wouldn't penetrate the cloth or the metallic fibers. The energy is dissipated, but you might, have a bruise or a broken rib.
Well, they say the energy on whatever the Greys have on is dissipated backwards, not forward. So it actually pushes in and then pushes out. It doesn't push down. It's designed to catch it and push it back outward using its own energy, which is all stuff that our government's been working on for a long time. I mean, we may end up with it in 50 years or 20 years.
That technology is centuries old anyway. Thousands of years ago, well, maybe not thousands, hundreds of years ago, when we were still using bows and arrows and swords and we didn't have firearms, one of the first lethal weapons was really the bow. And, back then they had chainmail. And maybe this is way before plate armor, but maybe some padding and leather and whatnot, so some other future advancements that still the arrow would penetrate. And the arrow, like you think, it didn't have like a shaped. It was just a point, just like a needle, because they were shooting at somebody wearing a metal vest. So when you were donning your armor, there were several layers. One of the layers was a silk shirt, and the silk shirt was there because our arrow wouldn't penetrate the silk, and it would take the shirt in with the arrow into the wound, so they could more easily take the arrow out later on when you went to the hospital tent. So that kind of repellent technology you're talking about is centuries old. It's just that it was for a way different technology.
Yeah, well, whatever it is they're using is seriously advanced.
Yes.
Well, Jack, it's not even that. See, you don't even take it into consideration their real power. We're just screwing around with what might be
this is just
physical
their
power.
electronic tech. Yeah.
So
brain power wise, they could.
The reason you knew Dulcie was a load of crap was the first time somebody said, "Oh, I grabbed out a machine gun and started shooting at the Grey." The Grey would have just simply looked over at all of them and poof. They'd have just shot each other up. It wouldn't even been a contest.
Well, they could have frozen.
A lot of things they could have done to him. Could have made him see all kind of horrible things. The problem is knowing that kind of takes the punch out of Dulcie. Knowing that the Grey's abilities kind of take the punch out of a lot of things, because it's like Roswell. Okay, we got a Grey. Now we know that Gray has the ability to call the other Grays because they're telepathic, and there doesn't seem to be any limit to their range. That Gray also knows if he dies, he has another body waiting for him somewhere. It's just a matter of when his
he's
consciousness is going to
downloaded
get
somewhere.
there.
And well,
So-
and another thing, I mean, Phil Snyder didn't last very long. His death kind of made everyone think what he was saying was 100% on the mark. But someone has, and I don't remember where I saw it, where I heard it, but someone debunked the fingers. And I don't remember what the accident was, but he had some sort of an accident where he lost the fingers on his left hand. And he claims it was from when the alien went like that and a little device on his belt opened up. And as he would put it, a beam came out and hit him and opened him up, gutted him like a fish, he would say.
He gutted him like a fish. He wouldn't have been there to talk
Wouldn't
about
be
it.
talking, yeah. And if the SF that threw him onto the elevator platform and said, "Get out of here," he probably would have left his stomach behind. So I don't really think that story, that Dulcie story, is. Now, there may be some truth to it. There are some rumors that there was a firefight between Army Special Forces and base Black Ops security at some point in the 70s, but I don't know anything more than that.
I don't know.
Is it the same incident, or they just, I don't know.
Well, maybe they just were trying to do something just to squash some of the rumors down. Because, it's unfortunate when some rumors get started, they're just not going to go away, true or not true, unless you get an outright debunk. And even then, a lot of times, if they're old enough, it's not going to go away. It's like the Betty and Barney Hill case. When I got involved and started rewriting the Hill case, I was kind of like, well, this is going to be a effing effing job, man. Is what this is going to be. Because people, they get it set in their mind. They don't want to change. But my problem was, and with any case, I noticed all the old cases, no one really questioned the case. They just took it like, okay, that's what it is. Well,
do like that, yeah. And I had been following the case from when I first found out about it, and I don't know, probably the late 70s, early 80s. So Barney died 1961, 62 at the age of what was he, 47?
No, I think it was like 71 when he died. But
No. He was a young guy, 42, 47, something like that. He was a young fellow. He was not very old.
Yeah, but I don't even think
it's 61 or 62 when he passed.
I have to look and check. Yeah, because I thought he was older than that. No, because they were doing interviews. They were doing radio and TV interviews in the 70s, in the early 70s. 69, 68. Yeah, he was. It was both of them. Unless we had some kind of weird, type it in and find it. Just ask Google. She's behind.
Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, I'm looking.
Oh, well, I don't know about asking Google, man.
Yeah,
let's leave Google alone. No, Jimmy, they've updated my Alexa for the second time. And every time they update it, she gets stupider. No, first it wants to argue with you. Yeah, it wants to argue with you. It's like, no, it wants to argue with you.
Yeah, Barney died of cerebral hemorrhage on. I thought it was. You thought it was later, 71, 72. I said it was 61, 62, 1969. Is when. Yeah,
because I knew it was late. Because all the interviews I got, because I got all of his interviews from his last 2 years of his life.
Yeah, and but he was still very young. But the point I'm trying to make is that after he passed, her story started becoming more and more elaborate. Each time she got interviewed, and the story would wane. It would be like, on the top of the news, like, 1975, and then 5 years would go by and nothing would happen. And then she would come back, on a popular, another wave of paranormal stories. But each time the story ramped up and there was more detail, and it ramped up and there was more detail. And there's certain details I was like, this just is, it's like, a compound lie, did it actually really, really happen, or did she get abducted somewhere else or by somebody else? Especially the one and you pointed it out, I never would have come up with this idea, but the one, I think it was 78 or 1980, 81, 82, somewhere in that time frame. She was looking pretty young still, but the story was that the man came over and pulled down the map. And then she drew that map, and then later on they put it in the computer, and it turns out to be the map of Zeta Reticuli. It matches exactly. So, however she got that information, that's kind of weird. But the fact that he pulled down the map, I'm like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, pull down maps, my friend.
Yeah, There's nothing flagged at me, but until you said it's people tech. So she had to have been abducted by some MyLabs that were trying to trick her into thinking she was.
Well, there was so much of that though. The swinging doors with the holes in them. These are typical hospital or warehouse
Anything
doors.
With windows is not alien. Yes.
And walking up the ramp. But the first clue to me was I'm sitting there, and I didn't think about it because I'd heard this a lot when I was young, and I guess I ignored most. Well, anyway, I'm sitting there one night and I'm listening, and I heard him say, "Yeah, well, these guys come walking across from the ship, which landed in this set of stairs, came down, which is the first time I ever heard that." And then said he walked up to the car, and they looped their arms under. He said they were wearing black shoes, black pants, black shirts, and black duck-billed caps. I'm thinking, whoa, what the beep? That's definitely black ops of some sort. That's somebody inside, and that's not somebody inside the military. That's somebody else. And I'm thinking
it's a contractor. Yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, well, just some BS. And then, of course, they had said this thing had hit their car on the trunk and made it stop. And it sounds like it sounded like it was like some type of magnetic field that they just shot down. Left marks.
Rifle, probably.
Yeah. Well, whatever it was actually physically attached to the car.
So they might be a projectile that and
it left these little circle marks. So all of that sounds conventional. And then they're inside the ship, and the guy who looked like the little short alien that looked like the guy, what was his name, with the big snooter back in the day, handed her a book, a paperback book. I was like, what?
Yeah, that sounds like the greatest American hero, where the teacher gets lost in the back roads, and he encounters a UFO. They hand him a book with a box and a superhero uniform, and he goes home. And as he's going home, somehow the book, the instruction book that teaches him how to use the superhero uniform, falls out of his car. You know what I'm talking about?
No, it's
by the way, they're reviving that.
There's just a lot of this stuff, when you listen to these cases, especially like with the Hills case, it turns out to be something different. There's no doubt the case that happened inside the United States, when everybody was talking about, it's a MILAB case. MILAB, right. MILAB. Well, I'm not going to get into the argument about which way you want to call it, just one or the other. But that's what that was.
It doesn't disprove, and I fully think Barney was abducted by aliens.
And no doubt that Barney was abducted by aliens.
MILABs is interested in that. I don't think they were interested in Betty. Sometimes in couples, they were interested in one, not the other. Sometimes both, but usually it's only one. But in this case, it was Barney. And every encounter she talks about, when their first abduction, the only thing that she can recall is the men standing in the window of the machine as it stopped their car on that back road. And when early on in my investigation, I didn't realize, I was a kid when I started this, 50 years ago. The thing with the UFO is that the UFOs don't have windows. They don't have rivets. They don't have seams. They don't. In every description of if they were actual real UFO devices, every description describes it as being of one, looking like one piece, molded from one piece of metal, or having been carved out of one piece of metal. No seam, no door, no visible window, no visible. Like when we put a house up, where the windows are. Big fucking hole. There's the window. Our ships, our planes, our boats, our cars all have windows. Their vehicles do not. Why? Because the panels or the materials on their vehicle, they can make transparent to be a window. They can see out, but you can't see in. They can make it so everyone can see both ways, or they can make it so you can see in and they can't see out. That's how the technology works. They don't need a portal like we do. So if you encounter a device with a window, right. It's not UFOs.
It's not. What's a UFO? It's just not an alien UFO.
Yeah, okay. It's just not alien.
Do you know the reason we're talking about this is just, people ask how much does the government know? Well, obviously
they don't know half of this stuff.
So what's so interesting about Barney Hill is, and I know it offends Betty's followers, but what's so interesting about Barney is Barney they knew about Barney at a young age, 5, 6, 7 years old. I don't know when it was, but
just once.
So some psychologists along the way alerted the government because the government had become interested in him at a young age. On top of that, by the time he was just a post office guy, he had made friends with 3 colonels. First off, don't take this the wrong way, guys, but generally post office guys don't meld with colonels unless they're family.
Right.
It's just oh, dude, the colonel is one step away from a freaking brigadier or whatever. Yeah, because there's some brigadier or something in between.
Major, it's major, and then wait, no. Major comes before that. It's colonel, and then
it's colonel and admiral. I mean, colonel, not admiral, but general.
Brigadier general.
I think it's brigadier or some low ranking 1 star. Just we're giving you a star because we like you, kind of thing. But anyway, it's government just doesn't know that much about this. They wouldn't be out. First off, if they knew a lot, they wouldn't need to MILAB people.
But is that true, or is that part of the intelligence?
Why risk MILABing people if you know everything?
Well, I mean, that's maybe I don't know, but that's because the MILABs now that's military, not government. So it's a little bit of both. But there is rumor that the government, the U.S. government, the Russian government, Chinese government, European governments, not all of them, but some of them, have had interactions with one or more alien civilizations.
The way the MILAB thing is supposed to work is all governments, or at least all significant governments on the planet, are aware of them. So there was a deal cut so that they can operate anywhere they want, anytime they want, unimpeded, unaggravated. But that was set up so that different people would be in different places. So for some reason, you'll hear the Russians, even like people in the Ukraine, have described it themselves, but other people besides that outside have described them like gendarmes, meaning French policemen.
Yeah,
okay, that's not American. Yeah, that's not Americans. That's French. But then other places around the world, they're American. And then there's other entities besides that. And I notice in countries where there's not really any American speaking, it's countries friendly to that country that's doing it. But it's never the country, with the exception of this country, the MILABs are generally not handled by the country they're from, which is a little on the queer side.
It indicates a central gathering place for all that intelligence to go.
Yeah. It indicates there's already a one world government. We dumbasses don't know about it. Well, people.
There is the rumor that this planet isn't entirely under our control. That the Draco reptilians are in control.
I hope so.
Have been for many hundreds of thousands of years.
I like the Iraqis. They're the best out of the bunch. They like us, man. They think we're cool as hell.
Well, look, if we're going to get into a bunch of space battles here because of our friends from afar, let's talk about it on Star Trek terms. There are several species in Star Trek. You got Vulcans, you got Romulans, you got Klingons, you got humans, Tellarites,
violent species, man.
All kinds of weird violent species, right? Which one do you want having your back? You want the Klingons or the Vulcans?
I want the
Dracos, one's actually
man.
Pretty good, but the Vulcan on the ground, Vulcans are going to be the better fighters.
I want the Dracos. I don't want no wussy Vulcans. They wusses. Oh my god, man! They get shot up, killed, just like everybody else. Big bleeding, green blood all over the place.
With alien species, I want the Draco reptilians on our side because they're like up to 9 feet tall. Some of them can fly. Literally fly with wings,
and they like us.
They are so powerful with their minds; they can just go and turn your brain to jello.
So one of the things the government hates is the reptilians, which they tried to turn into the bad guys. So before Christ, the reptilians were revered all around the planet. Just go look for yourself. There's tons and tons of the Egyptians, the Mezans,
the crocodile.
They were bringing the life. The serpent was the bringer of life. So that's how it was. And I mean, it still was in the Mesoamericans for quite a long time after Christ.
You look in the Christian Bible, the serpent is the kicker outer of Eden.
So no, actually, that's not true. In the Christian Bible, he's the bringer of knowledge. He talked him into biting into the apple, and what is an apple this?
Yeah, they don't really describe it as a snake in the Bible.
That's true. Well, kind of, sort of, they do, and they don't. It's kind of twisted. It's kind of like a what's her name? Like a snaky Medusa kind of thing. Technically, it's Satan, by the way, guys and girls. But But regardless, it brought them the knowledge. So remember, by their own
Knowledge
accounts,
of good and
Adam and
evil, life
Eve,
and death.
by their own accounts, Adam and Eve didn't know anything. All they did was talk to the animals, name the animals. They didn't even wear clothes, people. Remember, they were walking around, no clothes, no nothing,
Well,
just babies in the woods. No, nothing there to kill them, or nothing bad, nasty there. It was Eden. And that's where they were. And then the snake said, "Hey, Eve, I know some stuff that you don't." She's like, "No, I know everything." And he's like, "No, you don't. I know some stuff that you don't." And however you want to interpret what happened at that point, she awoke. And what was the first thing she did when she awoke was get dressed.
And hand him an apple and say, "Here, eat this."
Yes, Adam, so we can have great sex and have babies.
And the other weird thing is everyone has this wrong. Everyone thinks that Adam is ancient Israeli for man. It's not. It's actually a word called Adamu, and it's a Sumerian word, which means the first ones. And in the Adamu context, that means the first ones who could breed. So of the 7 iterations of man, which I think we are number 7, but we've had some updates, I think, since. Anyway,
definitely the combination.
That's when they gave us the ability to reproduce on our own instead of them having to clone and or do other things to accelerate our growth, because they needed a worker base to work the mines and take care of the day-to-day nasty chores they didn't want to do.
And then so where did the other people come from? We had Adam and Eve, and they had babies and all. That's great. But interbreeding is bad for a population, so there had to be some humans otherwhere in other places. Somebody had to make some other humans, or the aliens had to do something, because frankly,
well, I mean, that's the argument I always make. If they came here if an extraterrestrial species came here to mine things, you can't go to the mountains, like say in Tibet, and make a bunch of slave species, then take those slaves somewhere else and expect them to work in a desert. It wouldn't work. They would die. They're adapted for living up high. So you'd have to have humans adapted to various areas so that they have tolerances for those temperatures and regional differences. Otherwise, your workforce is just going to work themselves to death.
I was thinking one afternoon, I was talking to a friend of mine in Colorado who lives in Denver, and he says every time he comes down, he feels like he's dying. I'm like, "What's amazing, Joe? It's like hard to breathe." Like, "What do you mean it's hard?" He's like, "It's like breathing water." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "That freaking humidity you people live in." He says, "It's like breathing water." I'm like, "It's not that bad, dude." I said, I have been to Denver a few times. Last time I went, though, it was a little, I noticed I was getting a little winded.
I'll tell you this much about deep South Georgia daily humidity. It may suck when you open the door. I've always described it as like being punched in the face by Mike Tyson. It literally is. You open the door from a cooled house, it's like, oh. But the good thing about the high humidity, when you go back into an air-conditioned room or house or building, because you're covered in sweat. I mean, it's just like a slimy. As soon as you open that door, it's like, oh. You just want to stay in there and hold the door open while the cold air just brushes past you. But most store owners, they don't appreciate that. So
yeah, no, they're like, "Shut the damn door, asshole."
Well, in Arizona, they do something similar. So when like the strip malls and then like the shops down in Phoenix, when you walk into before you walk into the store, there's like I think it's a 1/2-inch PVC potable water pipe strung along the outside, and they've drilled holes all through it, and it just goes, and it sprays mist on everybody. And when you walk through, you get misted with water. You open up that door, and it's like, woo, it's cold in here.
I know. Well, I mean, they do that like Disneyland and all places like that, Houston and all. They all have those, and even the clubs down here, the ones that are outside, they'll have fans going with little misters in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's blowing around misty, which is all fine until it starts getting into your food and stuff. You're kind of like, whoa, let's take this mister somewhere else.
And you know what humidity is? Humidity is the relative amount of percentage of water in the air versus oxygen in the air. And so when you have 100% humidity, well, you're underwater or it's raining. So when you're spraying
sometimes it's just like
a hot environment, you're spraying mist into a fan, you're just making the humidity level go up.
It's but it's cool.
You're adding
some of that humidity is high, man.
It's
There
human
is no
adding
global warming. I have figured out 100% of global warming is absolute and total bullshit, people.
I
Absolute.
agree. I
One,
agree.
before anybody writes to me, I didn't say climate change was. I just said global warming is 100%
Global warming is
bullshit.
bullshit. Climate change is for real. Read the data.
Yes, and I'm
The
not
data
even
does
sure
not suggest
what's
we have
causing it.
any effect on it. And
Yes.
if we do, it's so minimal that it's like less than 1%.
Carol, the reason they blame it on us is that's the only place they can get money. It's free money.
Even if we had a 1% effect on global climate change, global warming, whatever you want to call it, politically correct or not, even if we had just a 1% chance, that's nothing. That's just the footprint of our civilization. Now, if we are 51, 52% adding to that bad number, that's a problem. But we're not. And we are not the problem. We are not causing, nor did we start the effect. It's a natural effect the planet has had since before there were people. Will continue to go on even after we're gone. If the planet decides to kill us, all the planet has to do is go like a dog and shake us off. Right?
Yeah, well, that's true.
Do.
Tell you what, Carol, this Friday I'll do some of the numbers for you and some of the companies and some of the stuff that's going on, like how much bigger these Antarctic ice cap is now. It's growing. Not only is it growing at a freaking record rate.
It's 2.5, 3 miles thick.
You got to wonder record rate. What? Wait. Okay, before anybody gets even nasty about this, let's not forget it. We're still coming out of an ice age. I don't know if y'all understand what that means. It's supposed to be melting. Go look at the last ice age to where the water was when it finished and then when it restarted. It was much different than where it is right now. So,
well, I can tell you one thing. People have always asked, who built Machu Picchu? How did they build Machu Picchu? It's above the tree level. Not if you melt all the ice, it isn't.
Yeah, that's true too. It's not. So we know for a fact on this planet, at least twice, all the ice was melted, and there were animals and things living on the planet. Matter of fact, just 150 million years ago, there was no ice on the planet. None. Zero.
You want to know something really weird, though, Joe?
Well, how do you think there was big oceans in the middle of the United States if the water wasn't all over the place, doofus?
Center of the United States is about ocean. You want to know something weird about the northern ice cap? There's nothing underneath of it but water.
Yeah, in
no
trouble.
Land. There's nothing substantial underneath of it but ocean. And everyone keeps saying, oh, well, that's where Admiral Byrd flew his plane into it and went under to the center of the earth. Yeah, bullshit. It's a floating ice cube on the top of the planet, sitting there spinning like it's on spin cycle in the washing machine. Blah, 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 blah. I think that's fascinating. But everybody thinks it's some kind of entrance into the inside of the earth. It's an ice cap. It's exactly what it is. It's just ice. Nothing underneath of it but ocean.
Diesel wouldn't matter if it's a continent anyway. Just move. All the continents on the planet move. Y'all forget we were Pangea at one time. We were all one big happy family continent.
One big clump of land.
And then, matter of fact, they were showing. Where it is? It's just four pieces that connect to make one piece. Oh, it's Africa, the UK, us, and somebody else. Oh, it was funny. It was the lost
one of the animations when we go to break here in a few minutes. Or are we doing a break here in a minute?
Oh, yeah, we'll probably go in a few minutes. Frank, I mean, it's not global warming; it's climate change.
But what do you think about the rumors, though, which we just kind of touched on? Then we went on this huge tangent here. I've heard several different reports, various sources, including Robert Dean, I think, is one of them too. Robert, God rest his soul, Robert O. Dean, that the U.S. government and other governments have had actual contact and, I guess you call it treaty talks with extraterrestrial civilizations and or organizations.
Alfred Weber and what's his face, Sala would tell you I'm the guy that's supposed to do. That's my job. Legit, I'm on the list. That's my job. If there's legit contact, y'all didn't know that, did y'all? No, y'all didn't. Now they can probably come brainwash all of our listeners. Y'all will get some real flash tomorrow. Y'all can drive. Oh, it was a snow blind for a second. What was I thinking about? Oh shit, no. What's that? Wait, I was thinking about something. That's why I don't like telling y'all secrets, man. It's probably Jazz would say, Jimmy, I'm snow blind. What the hell, snow blind? but he'll forget what was going on. It's the problem is first off, our government's very big. It's very spread out and it's all over the place. And it's connected to a bunch of other governments.
You could call it compartmentalized.
The men in black, which are technically ex-politicians, usually pretty high up, older senators and colonels and stuff like that, generals, admirals, big wigs from Boeing, Lockheed, and places like that. They're the men in black.
Are they NSA or are they Magic 12 or the Jason?
Technically, they're under contract by the U.S. government. Now, who do they answer to?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Yeah.
Well, I met the guy. I've told y'all about the story about the guy I met, Senator McConnell back in the day, who was in charge of the appropriations for this and didn't know about any of this stuff. So knowing that makes me wonder who actually knows. The president don't know. We know that from Clinton and Clinton.
And Trump.
Daddy Bush might have known.
Oh, I guarantee you both Bushes knew.
Well,
both Bushes knew more than their, friends and presidents preceding them.
Well, according to one of the Democratic presidents, they've only ever told Republican presidents. They've never told a Democratic president. They've never been invited to. Well, maybe that's why Democrats are pissed off all the time. I don't know. No, Jesse, but you're going to ask me about that on Friday.
I guess that's because UFO researchers and guys that believe in aliens don't like to play with guys that hang out with pedophiles.
And it's very weird, whatever it is. It's
maybe that's where the rift is. I don't know.
Well, no. Okay, Chris. The people, ufologists and paranormal people who are famous are probably liberals. It's all the rest of them aren't there. That's what the problem is. Just the way it works out. We could talk a lot about famous people, but not on this show. You have to come for Friday. Yeah. Come ask us on Friday or Saturday. Yeah. It's, because it really doesn't tie into what we're talking about tonight. But so here you got this group of people that they like to call Men in Black. Some people say there's a rogue group of grays that works with them because of some of the technology they supposedly possess.
Well, there has been two different concepts of Men in Black. Some people describe them as being humans. Others describe them as being human-like with strange pallors, and when the glasses came off, oddly dark eyes, sheet white hair, alien almost features. So, some of them are alien, or some of them humans. Who knows? It could be very possible, 100%.
Well, at first they said it was the hybrids that were doing it, but then they said it was the grays outright. Rogue group of the grays. Now, could the rogue group of grays make their own hybrids, or are they just using humans with special gifts? That's anybody's guess. There's not enough evidence to know for sure. All we do know is there are both aliens and humans inside the Men in Black, and that
the rogue grays could have a different type of robot technology. We talked about the grays being able to download themselves into new forms, new bodies.
They say from what the rumor has is the grays keep a low profile because they don't want the other grays finding them.
Yeah,
they're it's kind of like that.
So it's like the rebels in Star Wars,
or like the ones in Stargate. What were the ones the little gray aliens in Stargate?
Not the Goa'uld, the Asgard.
The Asgard. Remember when they found the rogue group of Asgard in the other galaxy, and what was that? The other Stargate.
Well, they had the rogue. They had the I don't know. The Asgard didn't have the rogue. It was the Goa'uld had the rogue. Faction.
No, in Stargate, in Stargate Atlantis, they had a rogue group of Asgard. Matter of fact, Daniel even says that he knew the Asgard. He said, "What happened to him?" And Daniel said, well, that really worked well for them, didn't it? Being a smartass because of the way they did things. They were totally different. They were more like Loki than they were like the other Asgard, but they were Asgard.
I'll have to go back and re-look at those.
Yeah, rewatch that. Yeah, you can't believe you missed that, man. Man. I can't believe I got one on Jay, man.
There's
shit.
The Goa'uld had the
Go had all kind of crap going on, but
they had the
no, this was.
Counterparts.
But you have to remember, it's two different series. You've got it starts out in Stargate.
Oh, I've got them all on DVD.
Yeah, But you find out they're rogue in Stargate Atlantis. But anyway, the group in Pegasus is over there as rogue anyway.
Well, I mean,
from the
I've always made fun of.
you don't remember
particularly-
episodes when the Stargates were blowing up all over the place?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's when they find out that they were the ones causing it.
yeah. Okay,
They
I
were
remember that.
using Atlantean
But
technology.
I've always made fun of particularly ancient aliens. You made me lose my train of thought. Damn it.
Anyway, Jimmy, no, we've been talking about it a lot tonight, and we just pitched off to Stargate for a second because of something else we were talking about. But when it comes to the Greys, I just wouldn't piss them. I wouldn't piss any of the major 3 races off, or for that matter, any of the 4 major races, or if you want to include the light beings, the 5 major. I just wouldn't do it. You're not going to come out on top. It's not a win situation for you.
On the one hand, is what if we as a collective, let's say tomorrow something flips and the narrative begins, we all become like one nation tomorrow, and we all say, all right,
under JoJo.
Yeah, and we say it's time for you guys to leave. Would they leave?
No.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like not like we have any kind of a choice.
It doesn't
matter if we piss them off or not. Where they're here, whether we want them here or not. Period.
What they might do is give us some breathing room, though, if we prove that we were. Because I noticed with people, contactees that are in the keeper categories or in the media categories, stuff like that, the ones that are out there helping to get the word out and stuff, they give them a lot more freedom. I guess because they're aware of it and function of it, and plus they want everybody to know to start off with.
Mm-hmm.
But if we just tell them get out for whatever reason, no, they're probably not. Unless they're done and we're matured enough to be on our own. But I just don't feel in current situations we're anywhere near mature enough to be on our own.
Well, but the thing is, Gene Roddenberry, and this doesn't mean crap, but he basically modeled the United Federation of Planets after being contacted allegedly by representatives of some of these alien groups. Had told him about their structure, that there were some 40 different species and 120 or 80 different solar systems they had in control at that time, and he made that into Star Trek. So they have the prime directive. Do they believe in that? Is that something that's actually them, or is that just a bullshit thing that Gene Roddenberry came up with?
It's I don't know if it's like what we think the prime directive is. First off, if I remember correctly, it's more like 380,000 solar systems or more.
Yeah.
Well, James, when they one of the people who go there regularly was saying they used to do the roll, but they have a different way to do the roll. Now everybody signs in from the part they're in to let everybody know they're there, because doing the roll today would take 3 or 4 weeks. That's how many people are a part of it. But in the beginning, from what everybody says, in the beginning, it was just one big fucking nasty war, basically blasting across our galaxy. And
which could be the cause of the damage in our solar system.
Could be. And then all of a sudden the light beams showed up, but they weren't enough by themselves. So they found the Greys, and they say it themselves, they modified the Greys to be the supreme race. And the Greys just said, okay, well, we're going to start playing, let's kick some ass now. And that's what they started doing. And then they started making friends, and more of them made friends. And then it came this and that and this and that. But the planet they meet on, they said, is bigger than our entire solar system. And there's only one, it's not even getting land on, it's just a big piece of ship that floats around. And each race has its own part of the city. Polices it, does the whole 9 yards. They have races there that are waterfare and all kind of air.
They have their own Coruscant.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. And well, that's what and they've been talking about this a long time, way before Star Wars and all this is stuff that's been out there for a long time. It's just,
where do you think these guys got these ideas?
See,
literally, Gene Roddenberry got the idea after an experience with Men in Black, and the United Spaceship Enterprise at that point was no longer under the United Earth Space Probe Agency. It veiled reference to NASA. It is now under the United Federation of Planets, after a galactic federation was given to him by Men in Black.
I'm going to tell you what really happened. We were time traveling, and my damn freaking CD fell out. And he said, "What's this?" And he put it on and starts listening and watching. And of course, it's Star Trek, you know. But it wasn't Star Trek Enterprise. I mean, it wasn't Star Trek Kirk. It was Star Trek Picard. And he was like, "What the fuck is this?" Yes, and yes. And then at the end, he's seen his own face there, and he was like, "Well, I did this." I'm like, "Okay, now we're gonna have to wipe your memory." No, I'm just teasing, guys. Gene, no, a lot of people said Gene had contact. There's no way to deny it or confirm it because he's not alive, and nobody in his family's gonna talk about it. I know his son's not, and his wife is gone. Majel, yeah. Majel, I found more interesting than I did her old man. Gene was great, and he gave us a lot of great works. But I find Majel to be more interesting. I even found the character she's played to be more interesting. Or like Roxanna Troy, that was great. She was freaking hilarious. It's not Roxanne, it's like Roxanne. I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, but still, yes, she was a crazy woman. And then she's the one who birthed Andromeda and what's the other one with the blue aliens? Talons.
Arcturians are kind of blue, aren't they?
No, but I'm talking about the other one that Majel Rydberg did. She did Andromeda, and then she did the one with the Talons.
I downloaded the picture today.
There was, what the hell's the name of that, people? The aliens were called Talons. Yeah, they were these weird glowing. I don't know. I could even see the name, and I still can't tell you what it is. No, we got to take a break. Let me look right quick and I'll tell you. I don't quite think it's what you think it is, but give me a second and I'll tell you. So when you start looking for distances from Earth, Proxima Centauri is, depending on who you want to argue with, 3.9 to 4.2 light years out. And I guess it just depends where it is when it's traveling. And then, but it wasn't the closest. One of the other Proxima was actually closest, like a 3.8.
Guess what's in that picture? And Men in Black thingy. Let me get that for you.
And send it out. Yeah, while you're doing that, I'll go back to what I was doing there for a second. Yeah, by curiosity, unless it's something we're curious about. What's that Jeffrey love songs? I don't know about no love songs. It's like get crazy, man. Maybe a good Reagan speech or something. I don't know about no love songs. No, we played Red Food the other day, or last week or something. Nah, move on. Nope, no Metallica, sorry. No, we ain't playing no Metallica. Yeah, because every time we do, we get popped off or something. It's bad enough we get caught up on no, I used to play Van Halen, but I'm not too comfortable with it either anymore. Just one of those things. Hootie and the Blowfish. Hootie's not bad. I'll tell you. We're gonna play this. This isn't the official one. Maybe I should find the official one. But this next song is about alien abduction. Yeah, we're gonna play it. Well, I don't know if I have the actual. I got a different video for it. Let me see if I can find her. No, it's about an alien abduction. Yeah, here we go. This is the original video. I like the one they made with the two girls because it's goofier, but we're gonna play this up in just a second, and we can find out where y'all pretty people are. Wait, what we got up here?
Oh, hold on.
I was getting ready to look. Oh, we can look at it when I come back. Okay,
yeah, we come back. Yeah, I didn't know it's gonna come up automatically. I got to change that.
Sherry Lamoni. No, this name of the song is called Sail, and it's about an alien abduction. Matter of fact, if you pay attention to it, and if you ever seen The Fourth Kind, it's like parts of that is in there. I'm just telling you what's coming up. That's all.
Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Welcome to the Light Gate, where reality bends and the unseen awakens. Preston Dennett, joined by Dolly Saffron, guiding you beyond the veil and into the infinite unknown. Every week, we unlock high strangeness, extraterrestrial contact, hidden realms, psychic awakenings, the afterlife, and secrets they don't want you to know. Step through the gate, and if you feel the calling, subscribe to the channel and share it with those ready to awaken.
Ho, 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 ho. Whoa, ho, 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 ho. Hello,
Welcome
people.
back.
Yes, welcome back, you weirdos.
Looky look.
There it is. We got aliens there. Blow that bad boy up.
Let me go to that page there real quick. Hang on.
I just do it on my own screen. I got you. People, y'all know y'all can blow up anything that's on your screen, right? Anything that we have posted.
I can't hear. So it's only at 50%. It's a big picture. So it's got Alpha Draconian, amphibians. We'll go and look at each one. I'll blow it up. Andromedans, Arcturians, Atlans, Cetians, dwarves, grays, grays short, grays tall, hybrids, iguanoids, Genosians, Corendians, it's one of the gray species, Lyrans, MIB, moon eyes, Nagas. Gee, I wonder what they look like. Nordics, Mantisoids. I think they're bullshit, though. Mothmen, Pleiadians. Here's a hard one. Procyon, Reptilians, and I guess they need Draco. No, I guess there's a different reptilian. Syrians, Tyros, Umites, and Eva Borgs. That doesn't sound very good. So let's blow it up. Whoa. A little much. There we go. Can everybody read that? I can't. Can't really make it out.
I can see it. I can see it pretty good, actually.
Yeah, but
I can read the description, but I also got my screen blown up all the way too.
All right. So at the top is Alpha Draconian, and that looks like one that's winged.
Could be. It's the Draconians basically are all, and that's not even who they really are. The Draconians is just one of the recent systems they inhabited. It's a colony. It's not even who they are. So when you hear them identify as a Drago, that just means that they're from that particular colony. What species they are of reptilian, I know of 12. They say there's 14. They're all the same species, though. Their DNA is the same, except for they grow different appendages. They have different things. They have it's almost like whatever created them or whatever planet they were on created a diverse enough population that they could defend themselves without real technology, at least in the beginning. Well, you hear stuff all the time about different reptiles, like the winged ones, and there's a couple of versions of winged ones. There's like what I'd like to call a bat winged one that looks more like a dragonfly because there's 4 wings. One that has a more bird-like look to it. So that's all still the same species. And why they have different style wings is beyond me. You'd have to ask them.
Well, I mean, if you look at some of the pictures of the Anunnaki, some of them have 2 and 4 and 6 wings.
And then when you look at the amphibian one, some of them have it at the base of the throat, some have it at the top of their neck, some have it in the back. You'd have to ask them why they're developed that way. I'm sure there's reason from whatever they were on their planet or for whatever they were doing. And then the height thing, 3, 6, 9, that's another thing. Why did they develop like that? Why do the grays almost rule like that? I mean, they have their height is almost how they rule. I mean, the 3-foot grays, 3-4-foot grays, they really are just the bottom. I think they're scientists and stuff, but they're still like the bottom. The 6, 5, 6, 7-foot grays, they're more like management. And the real or anything taller than that, anything over 7 foot that's a gray is probably royalty.
Yeah.
So it's just odd the way, and well, I mean, you'd have to ask the little grays if they're happy or not. How do I know?
So, but if we have this information, how much of this information has made it to the government?
Well, by now, most of it, but there's still things but a lot of things with the different races that hasn't made it to the government yet. And there's things, of course, the government can't authenticate, so they're not sure. It's kind of like
Well, I mean, how can you? I mean, if let's say they came here, tomorrow, made themselves their presence known. It's the first time they got here. It's like, hi, we're from, so and so. How are you going to prove it? We don't have the technology to back up their claims at all.
Well, I mean, we can shoot a message to their home where, of course, we wouldn't hear nothing back from them unless I mean, we couldn't get it there, and unless it was around the block, it would take forever to get it there. But I mean, we could.
That's the same as a video phone. It's the same as a phone call. Without a video phone call, again, how are you going to verify it? It's going to be near impossible.
Well, yeah, you have to go there.
What did Captain Kirk say in that movie? How do you? Or no, Dr. McCoy, you're gonna ID God.
Yeah, let me see some ID, buddy.
Credit card, your God? Yeah, I am.
Let me see, buddy. And you don't have to ID when he zaps your ass to somewhere you don't like. You'll know.
Yeah, everybody got hit with lightning, but I mean, you still, you got to be able to verify somebody's claims, and we just honestly can't. We have no way of verifying any of their claims. And check out these Atlans here real quick. They kind of look like the Asgard from SG-1, don't they?
Yes, I'd bet you they're just another form of gray.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of split off species of gray. I mean, they're all also still the same species, but
right. So there's about 5 or 6 of them.
So I think there's more than that. Well, it's going to be
probably
like this.
Yeah.
In a million years, there'll be 6, 7, 8, 9 versions of humans living in the cosmos. And as we're growing and adapting to live in
there already are. Look at those guys, the Ceetians from Tau Ceti.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about us, our own species. There'll be 9 or 10 different versions of our species living out there. They'll have, transformed for this reason, mutated for that reason, been changed for this reason, but their base blood will still be human, but their outward appearance won't look as human as it used to. Well, Jack, there's always a reason for a design of a body. Nature has tendency to design your body for your best skills and protection.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it gives lions a big, powerful jaws and ripping claws. Humans don't need that because humans are smarter. But humans still need to be able to defend themselves and to take care of themselves, because a little human body against a big lion is nothing. The lion will eat you in a matter of seconds.
That's why we're able to reason, make ideas, and come up with plans and make tools.
That's why we make a big, long stick and poke him in the eyeball when he's running up on us.
Right.
It always bothered me when they say we grew up in the plains of Africa. I'm thinking, really? Do you know how many predators live in the plains of Africa?
Yeah.
And how many animals out there are much better suited to get away from them than us? I don't know.
The top speed of a running human, I think, is like maybe 12 miles an hour, whereas a lion's walking speed is like 8. Our walking speed is like 4. We're not fast enough.
Yeah, we're not strong enough, fast enough. What, live in trees? Cats and gorillas can climb trees.
Uh-huh.
So can chimpanzees. The only way we could survive is if there was a lot of us at one time. In other words, there's, a pack of 50 gorillas or a pack of 25 or 50 chimpanzees, but there's 100 or 500 humans throwing spears at their asses. We had to get to that point first. How did we get there? I mean, were we somewhere where there was relatively no animals until we got big enough to go hunting for them? Remember, when you're out there hunting the tiger's liable to be hunting you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I don't make that stuff up, Jay. But anyway, getting back to, I got to get back to the other screen so I can see what I was doing. The problem is the government is very limited in what they know. And there's other problems because they have information, but Joe Bob J over at Air Force has that information.
Yeah, it's like
Diggity-
compartmentalized.
Yeah, Dick Diddley Do over at the Navy has that information, so on and so forth. Now, according to the new rules under Space Command, they are supposed to share all of that information with Space Command. So they don't necessarily have to share it with each other, but they have to share it with Space Command. So the Air Force and Navy may not actually know what the Air Force and Navy each other has, but Space Command does. This is supposed to prevent things like what we had happen with 9/11. So we're making sure everybody's communicating with everybody and what we have. No, Space Command's in charge of all extraterrestrial anything. Anything that's involved with space, they're in charge with.
Hey,
They
Joe,
don't
look
give a
at this
shit who
guy
you
on the
are.
bottom here, real quick.
Yeah,
What does
he
that
looks-
look like?
Oh, I can't see. Let me blow him up.
Arrows.
Well,
Arrows.
he does kind of.
It looks like this looks like them skulls from the Andes, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. See, that's the other thing. A lot of these may have come from things like that. You're not an alien, so you can't come in this conversation. We have a little alien that's trying to break in. What do you mean, my favorite alien? See, what gets me is they always try to make the Greys, and it's the sneaky shit they do with the Greys. Oh, they're just the guys who sweep up the spaceship. Yeah, you believe that shit.
No, that was Bob Lazar's job.
Yeah. Poor Bob. You know, no telling what's gonna. You know, he got whatever Bob was. No one will ever know for sure.
Well, I think we might eventually, but he poor guy keeps getting hit by AI. They keep saying that what he said wasn't all of it, and he's coming out with more, and there's more interviews. And then you go and look, and there's nothing. So these AI stories are all over. Like last night, I saw one that they put up for Mickey Dolenz, and it was I'm going to stop sharing this. We don't need that. It was a political post where they're talking about Mickey Dolenz, how he was talking about the things going on in Minnesota and how what their people are doing is wrong and not they have it all wrong or whatever. And it was well worded. So I was like, okay, I'll share it. I thought it was pretty cool. Someone in the threads mentioned that this sounds like something that Janis Joplin said in the 70s or 60s. And then hours later, the exact same phrases that I thought that they were attributing to Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees, they're now attributing to Keanu Reeves. The exact same script. So it's like these AI stories, they're getting on my nerves. It's getting harder to vet the fake ones from the fake ones, but they're all fake. But most of them lie. And it's bullshit. And it bothers me. Sorry for my French.
Well, no, I mean, they're going to have to come up with a way to start detecting what's what, because it's not a healthy thing. And it's allowing for too many fakes. I mean, it's just, well, you can hope a good sighting. And I guarantee you we'll start seeing hoax sightings and get into mainstream ufology, because mainstream ufology is desperate.
Well,
They
they're
don't have
already out
anything.
there.
I mean, right now, ufology has nothing. Oh, Congress wanted to talk to people. Okay, that's over and done with. We're going to listen to Greer. Greer don't know his ass from a hole in the ground. He's the second biggest liar in ufology. Ask him to prove it. Next time you see him, he's telling you a bunch. Just say, "Can you prove it?"
Yeah. Where's the evidence?
Can you prove
He's
it?
got a lot of hearsay, but not a lot of, nothing to back it up.
Well, he was telling me about some people. When last time I seen him, which was a while back, I'd seen him in D.C. and he was telling me some bullshit about these people that I just happened to know the people he was talking about. I was thinking, okay, Dr. Greer. And he said something else to me. He said, well, you don't sound like you believe me. And then I looked up at him and I told him, I mentioned the two guys' names and they were friends of mine. Oh, well, yeah, might not have been Jay. Yeah, I said, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
The end of that. Actually, Gene, what set me off on him is I was at a conference and a friend of mine came by and said, hey, we're going to go out and have a spiritual ET enlightenment with Dr. Greer. And it's only it was only $3,600.
Oh, yeah.
That was it that was it for me. No, that was it. And then we were doing a gig and I had ran into him. Somebody said, look, if you ever need me to come on, just give me a call. I'll bring you on. So I called up his people. And the guy was telling me something. And I said, well, he told me if I ever needed him to come on for something. I said, we're doing a big thing. He said, well, it's $5,500, right? I said, what? said, dude, he was doing it as a favor, and you're going to charge me. I said, you just made an enemy where you didn't need to make one. And for a long time, his ass, went nose diving down because it's still here. Really, hasn't recovered. The problem is you can say a bunch of shit, but sooner or later you got to start producing.
Yep. Just like with these AI stories, Heidi's got a story, thing about her granddaughter saying that the ships are coming, Anunnaki are coming back. There was, and I don't know if it was bullshit, but I think it was an AI story that showed like I guess a computer-aided telescope image of what looked like the Ezekiel wheel, a wheel within a wheel kind of thing from the Bible in space moving. But then they tell you about these things. They don't link you to any actual photographs or videos and all that kind of stuff. So
that's
are they on the way?
Well, there's a lot of those bait and click links out there. I mean, there's a lot of them.
I have to agree.
Anytime, matter of fact, on a couple of different platforms or more, when I see this particular style link come up, I just type in bait and click and move on because that's what it's going to be. If you click on it, or if it says go to the bottom and look, or you do this, it's always going to be some kind of link.
Yeah, or comments. The rest of the story's in the comments, and it's a link you got to click on. Bullshit. It would be nice if Facebook would stop that crap, though.
Yeah, it's not just Facebook; it's all of them.
Yeah,
it happens on X. It happens on. I don't know what's going to go on Twitter.
It's gotten into the algorithms of all the platforms, so it's going. I don't think we're ever going to get rid of it.
Well, we'll see with TikTok because they just got bought, and they're changing all their algorithms over. So we'll see what happens with that. She might know. She might have a sixth sense there, Heidi, that they're coming. Jeffrey, you mean like Mars attacks? Is that what you're talking about? Where they ride around making that weird noise and all the aliens' head pop. Yeah, I forgot who's saying that. Ooh, but it was horrible. It almost made my head pop. No, they actually mentioned the artist in the movie. There are so many cameos in that movie; it's ridiculous. Oh yeah, Mars Attacks. I mean, everybody's cameo in there.
Just about, yeah.
It was just one of them goofy movies. It's kind of like a Cannonball Run.
Yeah, cameo.
Yeah, some of them, just what they do. That's the movie, basically. One big happy cameo. What, Michael? Cameos. Cameos are when famous people just pop into a movie somewhere.
For like a minute, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a mad world. The Cannonball Run movies, most of your Bob Hope, Buddy Road movies with Bob, whoever he went out with, they were always running into different various stars throughout, and they would also introduce new upcoming stars that way.
Yeah,
pairing them, putting them in a movie with a huge Hollywood block star movie.
Yeah, Heidi, she's probably an alien. You better be careful, man. There's some tentacles. You start seeing antennae coming out her head or something,
Or her pupils turn slitted instead of circles.
Yes, just be careful there.
But I don't disagree with your granddaughter. I mean, allegedly the Bible says that, I don't know if it's all the different religious books, but the Bible says, Jesus says he'll be back. I don't know if that actual dude's coming back, but
well, we don't know. You may be an alien, Heidi. We don't know. I've heard you say some alien-esque things. Sorry, Jay, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no worries.
It's no, really. I mean, I've heard you say some kind of alien stuff, and look what the group you hang out with.
Yeah,
alien people. We got you. Oh, we done busted it here, Heidi. We done busted Heidi. She's an alien, y'all. We know the truth now.
Oh, we knew that. We've known that.
Where's Michelle when I need her? I'll have to tell Michelle later tonight. Well, that's the thing. I mean, so we steal a flying saucer from the Germans. We bring it home and we crash it.
Mm-hmm.
Got some stuff out of it anyway. Still,
Velcro,
from what
fiber optics.
Still, from what I hear, we still have the damn thing sitting in a thing. Yeah, see, that's the funny part. So
we also got some really cool like OLED, touchscreen technology.
Yeah,
for cell phones. Yeah.
No, Jack. So we got it from the Germans. We basically hijacked it, brought it over here, tried to fly, crashed it. But no, the Greys didn't crash, and the ship, the Greys got ejected. And I guess I don't know if it was like a shuttlecraft or escape pod, but regardless, it broke up into 1,000 pieces. That's not how a big ship's going to act. Then they found the one in Corona on the same day, which was the ship. You know, it's interesting because many people said there was a burnt hole in the side of that.
Or a ripped gouge, yes.
Yeah, there was actually they described the edges as folded over on themselves.
Yep.
So
And
whatever
the
was
craft is
hot
described
enough
as a delta wing.
Yeah. So whatever was hot enough to move them over. They were like 4 or 5 human like things that they were kind of glowing a pinkish color. People thought they were humans, but had just been contaminated by radiation. What they found at McBrazel's ranch was Greys, but they found them in what was left of an escape pod, I guess. Because when it hit the ground, it disintegrated. And that's not any deep space craft. That's something an escape pod or maybe a shuttlecraft or you know, any damn thing that
Whatever
that
it was, is it blew up for
short
like,
range.
I think the debris field is like a 1/4 mile wide and about 3 miles long.
So Denise, the best part about
stuff.
that is where they say we got all the technology from. We haven't got any technology from the big ship. We still don't even know how it works.
The only thing we got from that was like, you know, the idea of what the technology of their exotic hull skin material was.
Yeah, and the reason we got stuff from the other craft is because they're what we would call click and touch technologies, click and switch technologies, meaning there's a physical aspect to them. Most of the Greys technologies don't have a physical touch to them. A lot of the other races don't.
Yeah, if anything, there's a
physical
sensor
touch.
panel for their fingers to connect, you know, directly mentally with the ship.
Yeah. Well,
And they call it melding with the ship.
Well, even some of the other races don't. Well, they don't actually meld with the ship, but they have telepathic technology as well.
Right. These are the physical craft, not the living craft. They actually physically, what I hear, meld to the craft.
Yeah, they do with the physical, and that's from my understanding strictly.
But the metal nuts and bolts craft that are seamless and no windows. Once again, no windows. And when the door closes, you can't tell where it is. There's no visible seam. They have indentations in the panels where the Greys could put their fingertips and connect their brain with the fiber optics within the ship and control various aspects, like, I guess, the air temperature, how fast you're going, turn left, turn right, go up, go down, you know, shoot, that kind of shit. Oh, yeah. Sorry, pardon my French.
When they're you're talking about in the medical theaters, most of them talk about that the Greys just look and think, and that's what happens. No, so in what we would call the cockpit or the command part of the ship, usually there's either panels like Jay was just talking about, or there's seats that you just slide into, and your whole entire body melds with the craft.
Yeah,
you become one with the craft, so it reacts directly to you. Well, Greys work in a three rhythm thing. I don't know why they do though.
It's where we get the idea of the triumvirate, you know, yeah. God and Father and the Holy Spirit.
So that's the way they work, and when they all three hop in a ship, that's the way it goes. No, I mean, they could. Well, most of the technology on the ship they can just think about, but there are some things I think they have to physically touch, and I hate to say it, but I think it's more a security measure than it is anything else. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's like a key. You know, if you don't have the right DNA, I guess the ship won't meld with you.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure the Greys can control every aspect of the ship just by thought. But I imagine when you're melded with the ship, one, that's their security key, like he just said. Plus, everything is one. I mean, so there's no really thought. If you think it, the ship does it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the ship could get mad and kick them out, but I mean, I don't know. I've never heard of that. But we don't live with the Greys, so it's no way for us to know.
Operating a ship like that versus a ship like one of our Navy ships, when you say fire, you're sending a message through 3 or 4 people before it gets the guy who pushes the button, at least in World War II times, and then boom. So, but with the ship, you go fire, boom, it happens right away. So fighting something like that is got to be, you have to have something that reacts as quick, something that's biologically intelligent.
Jimmy, most of our hardwire stuff can be shot from the bridge or from the gun itself. And there's a reason why. The old days, what Jay was talking about, was just the way things work, including steering the ship and throttling the ship. You would talk down the pipe and go all the way to engine room. They would give you the throttle, or it was just the way things worked. But today we do have the wire technology. But the reason why you can fire it at the location is because bomb may hit your ship and sever the wires.
Or
a
if
lot
the
of
conning
people,
tower gets hit, the gun can still operate.
so then they thought about going Bluetooth, making all the turrets and guns.
Oh,
and
yeah, then they're hackable.
that's what I said. I said, well, isn't that hackable? Well, why would you risk that? You have your own missile shot at your head. So so you got hard wire from the bridge to the gun, and then you've also got wire from the gun from you to the gun, wherever you happen to be, including missiles. They can fire missiles on the, unless they changed something since I was in, they could fire missiles from the deck. There was a keypad that you put in the thing that releases them, and there was a secondary keypad that if it didn't have a destination, you could put the coordinates in for the destination, or you could act whatever mode it was going to be in, because a lot of Navy missiles are not single mode. In other words, some of them, they might run in heat seeker, or they might run on laser guide. There's a couple ways a missile can run, and sometimes some missiles can run on 4 or 5 of them. But well, we want to make sure the missiles get there. Some bitches are expensive, man. We want to get to the target.
Yeah. Same thing with the torpedo. They can be programmed in the same way. Search
Jesse,
deep, search shallow.
You can ask me about Iran and Minnesota all you want Friday night. I have no problem. Just it's not a topic for this show. Oh yeah, I have a lot to say about it, but not here.
Yeah. There's a lot going on in the world. So that's Friday and Saturday.
Yes, I determined that I'm going to sacrifice our friend Jeffrey to make peace with the liberals. Yes, we're gonna give him to the blue-haired liberals.
But still, getting back to the question, how much does the U.S. government know?
We're gonna sacrifice him, man. That's it.
If you had to give it a percentage, how much do you think of all of this the government, like the working government, not the hidden government, but the working government? How much do you think they know?
8%.
8.
I think the hidden government knows about 30%. I think.
I think they know close. I think what actually it is that they know more than they want us to think they know, because they are in and have been in constant contact with alien government civilizations.
No alien government visiting this planet wants to talk to our government. You don't even want to talk to our government, and you're freaking from here. There's no need for them. See, this is what people don't understand. I guess this is why it makes humans feel bad about this, but to aliens, we are third-class citizens. Other than the ones they have use for, that's it. They don't have use for anybody else or anything else. There's no technologies here that fascinate them. There's nothing here that's even close to anything they're doing.
They might be interested in the sex doll industry. They're very close to having automated sex doll robots.
I think they would just get the real thing. That's the kind of people they are. But it's just no need. And contactees will tell you that they don't trust our government. They don't want to be involved in our government. There's nobody in our. I mean, look at the division right now and over stupid shit.
Yeah, really stupid shit.
And what happens when we start talking about alien and extraterrestrial technologies? Who's going to control it? It's they're not interested in that. That's not what they're here for. They're here for their contactees and their family lines, and they have been doing that for as long as they've been here. And in all of that time, they really have not entered in our governments very much. They've pretty much stayed out of them because it's a lose-lose for them. No matter what happens, they're going to lose. People are going to be like, oh, look, their grays caused this. Our last shitty lives is because of them. And half the planet will be like that.
See, you and I believe that they exist, but this is a blurb from the U.S. Department of War. DoD report discounts sightings of extraterrestrial technology. What it says, in effect, is AARO has found no verifiable evidence that the U.S. government or private industry has ever had access to extraterrestrial technology. AARO has found no indications that any information was illegally or inappropriately withheld from Congress. Well, I'm calling bull honkery on that.
What else are they going to say?
Well, I didn't open up the article. That's just the headline.
I'm just saying, what else are they going to say though? I mean, they're getting in trouble after that.
Yeah.
Jenny, I got a lot of friends in the government. I got a really high clearance. And the thing of it is they don't know. They wouldn't have called me in to testify if they knew. They wouldn't have called anybody in to testify if they knew. Dr. Greer, the only reason you call Dr. Greer in is to make a pony show out of it.
Yeah. Because he's going to bring his little buddy, David Grush.
Yeah, Crush. So we've got an astronaut and three different pilots giving testimony that they saw shit that they know is not from this planet. Okay, these are guys. I mean, these are the alien hunters. It's what they do for a living. They're up there in space, looking for life, and that's what they're doing. I mean, but we're not going to believe them. But we're going to believe the guy who has nothing but third-hand information.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they're coming
what do you
through
think
this.
about that guy, Jeremy Corbell, who's gotten all this stuff on the film?
I haven't seen it. I have to look.
Well, he's the guy that did like he got all the ATIP stuff together with what's his face. Jerry Corbell's the guy behind the scenes that made the documentaries, and he calls himself a filmmaker. He made a pretty decent UFO documentary, but he's another one of these third-party witnesses. He hasn't seen a UFO ever in his life, I don't think. At least I've seen UFOs. I mean, I've been an experiencer.
We've got the Crush guy, and then we've got the looking, I can't even think of his name, the little Hispanic looking dude who's running everything.
Yeah, that's the ATIP guy.
Yeah, none of them have seen UFOs.
What's his name?
None of them,
except for on the video.
Yeah, from a video. None of them have even know a person who has seen a UFO. You have to go
they probably do now, but
but they have to go all the way to someone's friend who had seen a UFO. Third-hand information, especially third-hand eyewitness information, is garbage. Is what that is.
Yeah, it's like those stories from American Pie. This one time at band camp, you weren't there. So how the hell do you know what happened at band camp?
But yet a pilot who's flying jets, who has been taught aircraft recognition because he has to be able to identify all the planes in the sky so you don't kill the wrong person, including all the deckhands. All of us have to learn it. But you're going to believe the guy who's never served in any of this, who was a spy. Give me a break. I mean, I couldn't even believe they even entertained this guy.
Yeah, and almost everything that Jeremy Corbell and that Hispanic guy, I can't remember his name for the life of me now either, David Grush, Stephen, what's his face?
Greer.
Greer, thank you. All they are just mouthpieces that are regurgitating the same information that's been going and circling around since 1970. There's been no progression in the.
I think Greer was used. I think Greer was used in the early 2000s because we were getting too close. There was too many people like me that were out there saying this, and this, and I think they used him for disinformation. They brought him together with all these NASA witnessing this, and all of a sudden there's 51 different types of aliens and 300 different types of craft. And my first thing was,
and then they're falling out of the sky when they come through their space portal.
Well, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the first time around with Greer, and the first time around, because nobody said that back then. They said, "Oh, we don't know how to get in here," but they said there was 51 different types and 300 different types of craft and all this. And the whole time I'm like, "Can I see something? What kind of other aliens?" I said, I'm only going by what human race is. I said, we found maybe 9. We're really going to stick with 7. And we found ships that date back.
I usually cap it at 5.
So I'm kind of like, okay. And then it's just, but that's what it is. It's bullshit. And now all of this bullshit's been dropped on top of everybody's head. And everybody's got these stories like Caroline Rosling, who was, worked for, what's his name? We were talking about him the other night, the Nazi.
Werner von Braun.
Yeah, von Braun. We were talking about him the other night. So, they were talking about her stories with him and how, he had known she had said that he knew there were extraterrestrials here. And he said that the Germans on more than one occasion had entertained in the air extraterrestrials. That's how they got the spacecraft in the first place. Sounds like the human type aliens like the German type thing. Because in the beginning
for success, but they failed.
in the beginning they weren't Nazis before World War One and World War One, because they got the craft somewhere around there. They were a different type of government, but well, think about it. The fascination with telepathic abilities and way twins can share things at distances fascinated him. And it's some of the types of experiments that extraterrestrials do on us.
Mm.
Maybe that's what maybe they were shortcutting their research.
The Corsican brothers is a documented thing. When one felt pain, the other, when one was injured, he didn't feel the pain. The other one did. They could be miles apart, and you'd like bump your head, and the other one would be like, "Ow!" But you'd be like, "Dude, oh, what happened?" No pain whatsoever. Then he goes and bumps his. You'd be like, "Oh, it's documented that happens, has happened, can happen."
So we know that those type of aliens are very interested in this stuff, and we know that according to Hitler, the fair-haired, beautiful, angelic angels used to come speak to him at night and tell him the things he was supposed to be doing. When he gives a description, most people say, "Oh, they're angels." No. They're human type alien. Yes, that's what they are. They're the human type.
But it's either he's telling the truth, or he's hallucinating off of all the painkillers they're injecting in him. Because he was just like Kennedy. He was constantly being up on morphines and other opiates to keep his pains down.
Yeah, but that was later on. This was before that. This was earlier in his life. This is when everything was getting ready to start and become like Hitler. Before that, he was nobody.
He really was. I mean, what did he roll out of the army as a corporal, lance corporal, something like that?
Just shows you one. People tell me all the time one person can't make a difference. That's bullshit. Just look at Hitler, Mussolini. You might not like the difference they made, but they sure made a difference. Hitler's trying to make he tried to make a big difference. Just we didn't want to go where he was. Trump's making a difference.
Yeah. Lance corporal. That's what he was when he rotated out of the German army.
It's just our government, and don't get me wrong. The exception of the Germans, I don't know what they have anymore. Nobody else on the planet has what we have. Well, the aliens, in some form or fashion, this is what kind of bothers me. Maybe this is why we're seeing this now. The aliens know we need to be a one world government. They know that. They all are. Every race that we know is visiting the planet is a one world government. They may have factions, they may have tribes, but they're all one species, one world, one boss. Well, you mean me? The way I think it should work? I think all military should be handed over to the United States government. Everybody else should stop spending money on military and start spending that on science and other things that forwards mankind. And I think the gloves that we put on our scientists that they can't work together should be taken off. And there should be a science center where people from around the world could go work. They would cure diseases at a rate that you can't even think of. It would probably extend life by 100 years in less than 20. Because one, that $3 or $4 trillion a year across all the different countries would be going to good stuff. America wouldn't have to spend a bunch of military because we wouldn't have nobody to fight against. So we'd just have basically a key piece in force and a space force. And because we have everybody together, we could start really, really, really building to go to space. We could be on Mars in 10 years in a major way. We could be out in the deep solar system in less than 50. We could have more than 10 million people in space in less than 50 years.
And allegedly someone just came out. Who was it? Was it SpaceX? They just announced a couple of days ago that they have another new engine that can allegedly get us to Mars in like 90 minutes.
Yeah, they got a lot of engines that are tested.
That's an hour and a half. I mean, that's like for me, that's like driving to like York, Pennsylvania, or Lancaster.
Jesse, that means you'd go from New York to Beijing in about 6 minutes. Wouldn't be no stopping that, loaded down with nuclear weapons, fusion bombs, cold fusion bombs. They won't pollute anything. Out of existence. Yeah. They won't pollute anything, but they'll vaporize everything for 100 miles. In a real war against China, first day China's population would be reduced to 500 million people. First day.
Yeah, if not zero.
And then we would give them an ultimatum. Do you still want to fight? Because don't think we don't have any missile defense shield, because we do. But if they get the dome built, it's going to make it hard for anybody to attack us.
I think they said, like, if Russia launched a full strike, less than 1% would get through the Golden Dome once active. Less than 1%. That's amazing.
But think about this: since Russia tested their missiles, only 1 in 20 have been making it off the ground.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're in deep shit.
Well, that's the same problem Kim Jong-un had when he started his missile programs. They were blowing up missiles all over the place. Surprised he didn't kill off his entire missile.
China's going to probably have
staff.
China's going to have to probably have the most missiles that fire because their stock is the newest. I think they're around 1,000 missiles right now.
Well, and they also have a much, much vaster territory to defend. So you would expect them to have a larger, magazine, if you will.
They shouldn't have any. They want world peace and they want to be the trader of the world. They shouldn't have any nukes.
Well, no, I know they do,
themselves.
but I mean, but as far as the however many missiles they have to defend their country, it's going to be more than for us because they have much more territory to defend.
No, right now we have 5,000. So does Russia. Neither one of us are going to allow China to have that kind of missiles. Both countries have already said it. That it'll be, we went down from, everybody doesn't realize this, but we went down from like 36,000 missiles when we did the treaty. America and Russia.
Yeah. I think at the height of the Cold War, we had 33, maybe 27,000 nuclear weapons, and Russia had 43 or 45,000.
Just know there was a shitload. So right now, there's 5,000, which 2,500 are on warheads, are active. The other 25 are sitting on shelves.
But according to Trump, it's still enough for us to eliminate the planet or destroy the planet 150 times over.
Yeah, and they can put those other ones on missiles pretty quickly. So it's not a thing. So. But we don't want China to even have more than 1,000 missiles. And the rest of the world's getting antsy about it too. But here you've got Stama from we'll talk about this on Friday, but we got Stama from Canada from UK going over there, and your boy from Canada wanting to do security trades with China. I don't think NATO is going to go for that.
No, and Trump already said if they bring Chinese equipment, even if it's not necessarily army equipment, but they bring over people over, it's an act of war.
Yeah. So
he will consider it an act of war.
Because we don't trust China, Jack. That's why. But anyway, we got to go. Just remember, don't ever let the government fool you. They know some, but they don't know near what they want you to think they know.
And what they do know, they don't want you to know. Think
about that. If they knew a lot,
you probably knew more because of what we just told you.
If they knew a lot, they would be flying UFOs all over the place, and they're not. They're flying a few, but they're not flying a lot.
Got a couple working models.
Well,
the Jetson car, though, we're still waiting for that.
Gene, it's been 80 years since Roswell, and we only went to the moon once. Well, I mean, in one shot. No, we go back to the moon in 2 weeks, by the way.
Yep.
I heard some of the astronauts bitching nobody cares, but I've been writing on, we care. Just, it's still.
Well, this is just a flyby to find a landing site, and then the next one is the actual physical landing. So. Get ready.
This is Artemis. They're going to see. Yeah. They want to get there. Well, they just don't want to. It's going to irritate the shit out of China if we land there in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
No, we really want to get a program going. We want to start shipping this helium-3 home. For the next, like the baby boom, not the baby boomers, but the millennials and the Z-Geners, maybe a little bit of X. This is going to be a big change for them. Power is going to be way cheaper. It's going to be way more abundant, way cleaner. Well, they'll probably use helium-3 to make cold fission.
Yeah.
That's probably what they'll do, yeah.
Little small nuclear reactors, no bigger than your fist or a softball.
Yep.
You stick it in your car goes. You get to the airport, you get it, you take the ball out of your car, you go to your airplane, you take the energy ball, you stick it in your airplane. Boom, it now has power. You fly to California, take the ball, you get out of that, you go to a car waiting at the airport that you rented. Boom, you stick the ball in that, power. You drive off to your hotel, you take that out, you go up to your hotel room, and then you wait till you need the ball again.
It's gonna be interesting. Cool. Yeah, well, you'll probably have to have multiple balls because you'll be doing one thing. You don't want to leave the wife at home and the dog, and the kid needs to take the boat out, So, but
Hey, Dad, can I borrow your balls tonight?
You know what might be
I don't see
interesting
that
too?
going over really.
On air flights of more than 100, everybody might have to plug their ball in to fly the plane.
Yeah, maybe so.
Power up the plane. The thing of it is, guys, is we're talking clean, efficient energy here that we just have never seen before.
One reaction lasts what, 10,000 years ish? It's continuous for 10,000 years.
Since Carol asked me this Friday or coming up, we're going to be talking about electric EVs, the whole 9 yards. Is it really helping the planet? Is it cost efficient? What's more cost efficient, gas or electric? And what's polluting the planet more, gas or electric? It'd be interesting to talk about. Well, I know because I've unfortunately had to do shows on this in the past, but you'll be interested to hear some of the stuff that goes on. Yeah, y'all have to see one of those blades, one blade off of a windmill. First off, you don't want to know how much it costs, how much stuff it takes to make it. Plus, you've got to have a bucket truck that goes 450 feet in the air to install it. All this diesel it costs to get everything out to where it's going, all that raw, man, they're not expensive.
You heard what Trump said about those windmills. China makes them, sells them for a lot of money, and they sell them to stupid people.
Yes, because they're not what we were told they were. Well, they don't even pay for themselves, just like solar doesn't pay for itself.
Nope.
The mirrors go out before the solar panels go out before they ever pay for themselves.
And there's so many more noxious chemicals inside solar panels than you can even imagine.
Lithium batteries are so dangerous. I mean, we were lied to because nobody wanted you to hear the truth. Well, if humans would have started hearing all the chemicals you're about to hear about Friday night, you'd have been like, wait, what? No, we don't want that. We'll keep gas. That's safer. Well, we got a problem. We really don't have an alternative to petrol yet. And it's not just, people don't realize, it's not the fact that we're talking about it powers your car. It's in your lipstick, ladies. It's in your tires. It's in the street. It's in the lights. It's in every damn thing on this planet.
It's in Vaseline jelly. It's in your makeup.
It's in everything you can think of. It's in all sorts of foods.
That plastic cup you're drinking your soda with.
Yeah.
Made by
I forgot when they listed the amount of stuff it's in. I was stunned. So how are you going to get rid of that? We're just going to quit drilling oil. No, you're not. What, ladies, you're going to give up all your makeup? I don't see that happening. And I don't see any studies in the bio-friendly makeup, so I'm thinking that's not going to happen. We're going to go back to using whale oil and kill the whales again? I'm not thinking.
You don't want that big black probe to come in here and probe the planet.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I better watch it. It's well, Friday I'll have the count for you. How many products? It's a lot. It's in a lot. It's in your coffee in your stainless steel mug. It was what they used to heat the fire up to melt the stainless steel. Yeah, it's used for everything. It's used for everything. Oh my God.
It's our energy source. I mean, it's what we use to fuel our society at the moment until we find something better.
Plus, everybody on the planet now has what do they call it? It's a type of plastic in our blood now. Everyone. We've contaminated the planet so much with plastic. Now we all have it in our blood. Come on, man. When we're going to be in 1,000 years, plastic people, yes. Some puppet strings on the back of just. Anyway, we got to go. And thanks everyone for tuning into United Public Radio and UFO Undercover. We'll be back Friday with a lot of news, a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of ice things going on. I'm gonna have my iced coffee with me just since we're gonna be talking about ice stuff. We're gonna be talking about the whole staff for ICE. We'll be talking about the reaction in Minnesota versus the reaction in other states and cities. There's a lot we're gonna be talking about. We'll also be talking about pollution, climate control, climate change, and what's more efficient to build, an electric car or a gas car. What's cheaper, more efficient, is going to save you. So I didn't know this. I knew with certain things you could almost take all the pollution out of a gas car. There are 2 new pieces of equipment now that can remove all pollution from your gas vehicle. Matter of fact, one of them even puts it into these charcoal little pellet things that you can be used for other things. It's cool as hell. Yeah. So anyway, on that note, we got to go. I want to thank everyone again for tuning in to United Public Radio on UFO Undercover. Remember, Michelle DeRoche is up next with the Outer Realm. Y'all be sure to go by and check her out. Don't cause her any grief because she will punch you upside your head.
Oh yes.
Y'all don't believe me? She will most definitely punch you upside her head. You're talking about Beyond the Outer Realm. That's on Tuesdays. Yes. I forget what time. It's early Tuesday show though. Yeah, yes, it is. It's a good show. It's a lot of fun to talk to. Who she's got on tonight? The Real ET Agenda, Reptilians, Palladians with Chris Berryman. So y'all go check it out.
Oh
Sounds
yeah.
like a fun show, guys.
That's a good one.
Yeah, the real Anyway, on that note, thanks for tuning in and see y'all Friday, guys and girls. Good night, everybody.